Different perspectives is a good thing. It's the heart that needs to be together. Welcome to Jewish Meditation with Rabbi G. This is Making Every Day Count, number 3. And today we follow on a little bit from last week about how unity works. And just to clarify again, in the Jewish calendar, we're now in what we call the 9 days, which are 9 days of mourning, where we mourn the destruction of the temples that stood in Jerusalem some 2,000 years ago. Both temples, the first and the second. And our rabbis tell us that the second temple was destroyed because of baseless hatred. Baseless hatred, meaning the lack of the ability to tolerate one another. So today we look at, how does this all work? How do we resolve conflict, therefore? How do we make sure that when we argue with people, we're still united, we're still one? Because here's the thing. Being united does not mean that we all think the same. Being united means we have different ideas. Now, this can be derived from a very interesting idea that I wanted to share. There's a mitzvah in the Torah to put on tefillin, phylacteries for men over the age of 13. And in the tefillin, each one, the hand one and the head one, there are 4 paragraphs from the Torah that mention tefillin that are written, handwritten on these parchments. The head tefillin represents the brain, represents intellectual ability, represents the idea of processing ideas, thinking, how we think. The hand tefillin is put on the arm, facing the heart, our emotions, our feelings. The basic idea behind tefillin is when we put on tefillin, we are committing to direct our ideas, our thinking, and our hearts towards a higher purpose, towards the divine service. But I once heard from a rabbi a very, very interesting thing. And he said that if you look at the difference between the head tefillin and the hand tefillin, you will see that the head tefillin actually has 4 separate compartments. And each one of the 4 paragraphs is placed into a different compartment. The hand tefillin, on the other hand, is one box, not 4 compartments together, but one box, and all 4 paragraphs are written on one scroll and inserted into the hand tefillin. Why? And he said a most beautiful idea. He said, because when it comes to the head, when it comes to thinking, when it comes to processing ideas, chilukei deot is a good thing. Difference of opinion is a good thing. Now, of course, in Judaism, we have some basic axioms that guide our life, basic values given to us by the Torah. But beyond that, there are many, many different approaches, different perspectives within the Jewish system. And difference of opinion is a good thing. Difference of opinion in relationships is a good thing. Different people do things different ways. Different people implement the same values in different ways. There's so many different ways of looking at things. People know this when you get married, when you enter into a relationship, any type of relationship, there are differences of perspectives. There are different ideas. That is a good thing. John Gottman, the famous writer on marriage, writes that a marriage without conflict is not good. Conflict is a good thing. Difference of ideas is a good thing. It helps us grow. It helps us expand. It helps entertain new ideas, creativity, and so on. And therefore, in the tefillin of the head, there are 4 different compartments because different ideas is a good thing. However, in the hand tefillin, there's only one paragraph, only one scroll, because pirud levavot is a bad thing. Disunity in the heart is a bad thing. We can have different ideas, but we can be one emotionally. We can be one together. It takes respecting different ideas, respecting difference, and understanding that at the core, we are all one. And of course, this goes back to what we discussed last week, that we are all bound by a soul, by a godly spark. And here's the thing, we have a body and we have a soul. The body is the superficial part of who we are. And when we place importance, when we give prominence to the body, then we are giving prominence, we are emphasizing and highlighting the part of us that is different to other people. Our bodies are different. Our ideas are different. The consciousness of our soul is different. We think differently. We are differently. We look differently. We have different perspectives. When we give emphasis, when that becomes our identity, then there's conflict. And the conflict cannot be resolved because the differences clash. However, when we understand our true identity, when we go back to who we really are, the soul, the neshama, and we understand that while we may think differently, it's just the implementation of the soul, the manifestation, the expression of our soul that is different, but at the core, we are all connected, we're all godly creations, we all have a divine spark within us, we are all really one at our core, one who we really are. Then emotionally, we remain one despite differences. And we welcome differences, but remain one with respect, embracing other ideas, making room for others, respecting other people's individuality in a relationship, and we remain one. So there's different ideas. The head tefillin, 4 compartments, but there's oneness in the heart because we focus on the neshama, we focus on the soul. As we said last week, during these special days, the days when we reflect on why the temple was destroyed and why trouble and persecution came about in the first place, was because of baseless hatred. And we reflect, of course, that we are now in a very tough time. Israel is tense. There are threats from all around. Our greatest tool, our greatest power, our greatest strategy is to work on baseless love. Just to understand we are one, and we learn to tolerate even those people that are so different to us and perhaps annoy us. But we tolerate them and embrace them and understand their differences and respect their individuality, because at the core, we are truly one. In the neshama level, in the soul, we are truly one. Let's really internalize this. Let's think about this. Maybe just get into a position where you're relaxed so that we can think and we can process and internalize. If it makes it easier, slowly close your eyes, focus, become aware. Turn your attention to your breathing, to direct our attention to the rhythm of life, breathing in and out. If your mind starts to wander, just gently bring it back so that we practice paying attention, focusing, becoming aware. Slowly breathing in and out, feeling each breath, taking note of what keeps us alive, the purity of our breathing, the sensation of letting go that which is toxic, in and out. Being aware can happen on 2 levels. We can become aware of what's around us. We can become aware of what's within us. Our breathing comes from within. And every breath, every neshima is an expression of our neshama, our soul, from deep within. Continue to focus on your breathing and think about each breath being an expression and connection to your neshama. The godly infusion, the purity of our soul. Our bodies may be different from each other. Our consciousness, our thinking, our ideas, our creativity is unique and distinct from one another. Our head thinking is different. But awareness of our deep-rooted soul, our spark, creates oneness. Think about what binds us, what is one. We think differently, but we're emotionally one because we are our soul. Our neshama is our core identity. At the core, we are one. Continue to focus on your breathing in and out. And think of a oneness that you can create, a connection with someone who you think is very different to you. Respect for someone who seems to be in conflict with you. The oneness of the heart coming from the oneness of the neshama. With every breath, think about connecting to the place of oneness, the divine spark that unites us. Coming back, something to really think about during these days, during this time. Every little bit of oneness, every little bit of unity is powerful, and brings so much blessing that we need so much now. Have a wonderful day.